Good morning, YouTube. Hope you guys are having a wonderful, wonderful Tuesday here, October 7th, 2025. We now have Tropical Storm Jerry in the Atlantic Basin here this morning. We've also got the threat for some flash flooding across portions of the Ohio River Valley and down toward the Four Corners today. And we're also talking about another pattern change as we go to next week, where we're going to start to see more larger storm systems in terms of rainfall, maybe some severe weather, some snow, and then eventually some cooler return to some temperatures as we start to transition to the middle of the month here. We're also watching some close to home systems here, the potential for a nor'easter this weekend, or east coast low pressure system that could produce hurricane force wind gust, as well as the potential for some heavy rainfall, some coastal flooding. And we're watching the Caribbean as we go towards next week for the potential for something tropical as well. A little bit of a lower end signal right now, not a strong signal, but a signal there, suggesting there could be something as we go towards next week. So we're going to break all that down here on this forecast this morning. Once again, it is October 7th, 2025. I hope you guys have a wonderful day here, and we'll go ahead and dive into what's happening here across the board. And we do have satellite imagery up here first. You can see Tropical Storm Jerry. This was Invest 95L the last couple of days, officially getting the upgrade here this morning to Tropical Storm Jerry. The good thing is with this system is it is going out to sea away from the United States here, that official cone. We'll talk about what that looks like here in just a minute. Jerry is expected to become a hurricane, potentially maybe even make a major hurricane run as we go towards the later half of the week here, but expected to become a hurricane here in the next couple of days. You can also see a low pressure system that's going to start to develop here as we go towards tomorrow and into Friday, and then eventually we'll have this system move up the East Coast, bringing the threat for some hurricane force wind gusts, potentially some higher end tropical storm force wind gusts. The thing with this system is it's not going to be a tropical storm more than likely, and the reason why that is because we're going to have lots of dry air on the southern side of this, and in order for this to become a tropical system, it has to basically have all of the features of a tropical system. We can talk about more of that on stream later on today, but basically in a nutshell, this is going to be, it's going to act like a tropical system or a hurricane, but it's not going to be. It's going to be neither tropical or subtropical. It's basically going to be a very strong upper level low that's going to kind of hang off the East Coast into the weekend, and that's going to bring some beach erosion, some coastal flooding, and as well as the high wind gust that's going to be there as well. You can also see that other little disturbance down here in the Yucatan, starting to see some convection here. So there's only a 10% chance of tropical cyclone formation down here, but this does look like it is attempting to do some convection this morning. So we'll see how this goes through the afternoon here, see if we get any uptrends with that, and we'll be watching everywhere else along the Gulf and into the Atlantic Basin if anything else were to change. Let's go ahead and switch over here to satellite imagery here this morning. We'll talk about what Jerry is looking like, and Jerry looking very, very impressive here. Very, very deep convection. This has just really gone from a pretty unorganized system yesterday to a tropical storm here this morning. This was looking pretty decent yesterday on satellite imagery, at least last night it did, and this morning looking a lot more better here. Lots of bubbly convection. Expected to become a hurricane here in the next couple of days here. We'll be watching Jerry in case anything else were to change. Here is the intensity forecast here for Jerry. You can see some models taking this as high as Cat 3, Cat 4 status, with most of them agreeing here around Cat 1, Cat 2 status here. We'll see if this makes it a higher run at higher intensity, if maybe some rapid intensification happens over the next couple of days. Here are the hurricane models. We do still have a couple outliers to take this further to the west, but the general consensus here is a recurve out to sea here. We'll watch and see if these outliers either trend to the east here or we see any big changes, but once again, expected to bring some minor impacts here to the Leeward Islands and the Puerto Rico. Not expecting any ridiculous hurricane force winds or anything like that. That'll stay north of the islands here, but we'll need to watch it in case something were to change. We'll take a look here as well at the National Hurricane Center here this morning as well, and you guys can see there is Jerry, and there is our little tropical chance of development down here in the southwestern Gulf. But Jerry, like I said, is the main theme here. Pressure is at 1,006 millibars, maximum sustained winds at 45, and here is that official cone here from the National Hurricane Center. This is our 10th named storm of the year, so continuing to see that out to sea curve, expected to become a hurricane by tomorrow evening. So a pretty quick strengthening here, and then we could breach maybe close to Cat 2, Cat 3 hurricane status as we go toward the weekend here, before eventually Jerry heads once again out to sea here towards Bermuda, and then eventually a recurve out to sea by the beginning of next week. So not expecting once again any United States impacts from this system, and that's been the theme this year, is these out to sea curves, which is always great to see in terms of hurricane season. If we can escape October, November without any landfalls or any major U.S. threats, we've had a couple close calls this year, and that would be huge. We'll just have to see what the rest of the season officially brings. Now we talk about the ensembles here, and these are the latest European ensembles from last night, and you can see a pretty general consensus here of Jerry, like I said, moving out to sea. Another tropical wave behind this that we'll have to watch, and there is eyes on this tropical wave here that is in Central Africa right now, and the reason why we need to watch this is we are going to have a little bit of a different pattern setup as we go towards next week, and if this tropical wave were to develop behind Jerry here, there could be a ridge that kind of potentially pushes this further west here. There is some ensembles and some models that show this a further west track. We've also got to watch, look at the Gulf, guys, look at the Caribbean getting going next week. week, potentially some tropical cyclone formation here on the Euro. And then here's our East Coast system this weekend that we'll be watching. So lots of different spots to watch across the Atlantic Basin here on the European. The GFS ensembles as well showing the same thing. Jerry recurving out to see another little tropical wave behind this. The Gulf potentially getting going into the Caribbean here, and then our East Coast system as well. So something we'll be watching next week will probably be a pretty busy week and closer to home as we watch the tropics for you guys there. Taking a look at WPC, we do have that flooding threat. We'd actually have some flooding outside our backyard here today in Kentucky. So we've had lots of rainfall yesterday, overnight, last night, and this morning. Our system is actually moving out, but we do have a marginal and a slight risk for flash flooding today across portions of New Mexico here. So that's going to be eastern and central New Mexico, level 2 risk out of 4 for flash flooding. And then we're also watching that marginal and slight risk for flash flooding here from Kentucky, Tennessee, back up into southern Ohio, southwestern Pennsylvania, West Virginia here, getting into Virginia. We'll keep you guys updated on that. And then a little marginal risk for flooding back here into portions of eastern Florida. So we'll keep you guys updated on that here. Here's the future radar here across the Ohio River Valley. Showers and thunderstorms moving through this morning. A big loud morning this morning for us here in our backyard. Definitely lots of lightning this morning. These storms will continue to transition through the afternoon hours across portions of eastern Kentucky, southern Ohio, getting back into western Virginia here, and eventually they will start to move east as this cold front pushes through. There is going to be a big cold air blast that's going to come down here. I would say cold air blast, but more a big fall return here. We'll finally feel those fall temperatures swinging in once this cold front comes through. Some almost Arctic air mass, especially up to the northern portions of the United States there. But a nice cold front swinging through here later on this afternoon. Those showers and storms are clearing out by tomorrow. We look to have a beautiful Wednesday, a breezy Wednesday as that cold front officially pushes through, but no showers and thunderstorms. Those will mostly stick for spotty thunderstorms on the East Coast tomorrow. And then after that, things will continue to progress in the positive way of things as we go towards the later half of the weekend. So we'll keep you guys updated on that there. Here are the future rainfall totals over the next 24 hours here, and you can see some higher pockets of rainfall once again getting up into northeastern portions of Kentucky, southern Indiana, southern Ohio. We'll keep you guys updated on those higher pockets. If any more flooding occurs, we'll be updating on that. I do know Evansville, Indiana has some minor flooding this morning. I've seen some posts about that. I've seen some people having some swift water rescues as well. So turn around, don't drown. Make sure you guys don't go into those flooded roadways. If you think it's low enough for your car to go through, I wouldn't do it. Find an alternate route and go a different direction. So that's always a smart way to go here. Let's talk about our upper level jet stream. Here's our cold front that is going to be swinging through here. You can see that faint jet stream line here. Here's our upper level low that's associated with that. That's going to be pulling things here to the east, bringing in colder air out of the northwest here. And as we go through the next couple of days here, we're going to see a ridge develop again back down here into the plains with another little pocket of colder air maybe coming down here toward the weekend. You can see that ridge developing down here in Texas, more of a kind of another little omega block pattern here. Not really omega block, but kind of takes a little bit of that shape here. As we go into the weekend here, keeping things pretty quiet here. Another little disturbance coming across the Great Lakes here, maybe even with a chance for some isolated snow showers and some cold rain this weekend. So we'll have to watch out for that across Friday and Saturday for the Great Lakes there into Michigan. And then our next big upper level jet stream coming in toward the weekend here, allowing for maybe some severe weather as we go toward the weekend. We're going to have to watch the instability and see where that happens at. Models aren't too keen on that right now, but if we were to get any instability develop, we could definitely have some severe weather up here into the upper Midwest and the upper high plains here. But then as we go towards next week, guys, take a look at this massive troughing setting up here. Once again, could see some severe weather in the Midwest late next week. Also going to have another cold pocket of air, some rain, some showers, some thunderstorms, keeping a ridge down here in the southeast. And then it's just after this, it's just trough after trough after trough. And then eventually some cold air may eventually come down as we go toward the middle of the month. So lots of things to watch for as we go into next week here. I think next week will definitely be a pretty busy week for us here, at least on the channel, popping out updates and doing live streams. Here is the latest 850 millibar temperature anomalies. This gives us an idea of where and roughly we could see the potential for some warm and cold air. And you can see that cold air kind of hanging around as we go toward the weekend here, those fall-like temperatures. And then eventually as we go into next week, we start to see another ridge develop and then another cold blast of air in the west. So it looks to be warm temperatures across the eastern half of the United States next week, colder air in the west, allowing for a storm system here in the middle as we get those two air masses colliding. We'll have more details on that as we go into the weekend, and then eventually as we go towards beyond that, we'll start to see some cooler air on the east, and then again a flip-flop in the change in our temperatures. So we got a lot of things to watch here once again over the next couple of weeks. The tropics keeping updated right now, and then we'll have to watch severe weather, any winter weather, as well as the temperature changes. So we'll keep you guys updated on that there. I'll have a live stream potentially later on tonight. If we need to get on, we'll do some live stream. If not, we'll have another video out for you guys tomorrow. Stay safe, everyone. Have a wonderful Tuesday, and we'll see y'all in the next one.